Hey everybody, this is Dana with CoachDanaInspires.com, and we are so excited that you're here today for Business Inspiration. Every Tuesday at this time, we bring a business leader in to inspire you to keep going and do your best and build your business. For those of you who don't know me, I am a coach for women entrepreneurs. I help them find their value, charge exactly what they're worth, and then find the perfect client, and we start changing the world one client at a time. So today we are here with Dr. Dave Striegel, and he is of Striegel Performance Coaching. And today is going to be a really great conversation. We're going to be talking about how to continue to pursue excellence as a leader in the face of these crazy times with pressure and stress. I mean, we've been doing this for about a year. So Dave is going to help us understand how we can move forward and do great things as we move. So David, welcome. And how are you doing today?
Oh, hi, Dana. I'm doing great. Adjusting to all the changes that have happened to us over the last year and a half, like everybody, and but excited for the future.
All right. Family's okay. Everybody's well.
Yeah, everybody's good. We're again navigating through all the back to school and all those various changes, etc.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, everybody's happy and healthy.
Great. Good to hear. So you work with clients and you talk to other business leaders all the time. We are, as you said, it's been a year plus of this delightful COVID issue. And what are your clients saying? What are you hearing from the other business folks that you talk to? Are they encouraged? Are they optimistic? Or are they still sort of struggling a lot? What are you hearing out there?
I'd say if on a scale, they are neutral to optimistic. Um, my clients tend to be those who are striving to really push the envelope of what they're capable of. That's sort of who they are. They tend to be seekers. They tend to be people who are trying to knock down goals and things like that. Uh, Really, the biggest challenge they're facing right now is the labor market.
Oh, yeah.
And you're reading all about it, how the labor market is challenging in all types of industries. But one of the industries I spend a lot of time in is the dental industry, and that particular one is finding it really challenging across the board, all positions, to find people who would like to work. And
Yeah.
so it's creating a real challenge there, and that's more than anything probably capping their growth.
Oh,
Much as the patient flow themselves. The patients have, not everybody, but by and large, they've come back, or at least kind of dipping their toe in.
right.
But it's really the labor market they're finding this the greatest challenge at this point.
Oh, yeah. I think that's everywhere. I really think so. And
Yeah.
it is, as you point out, it's very challenging for a business to grow if you can't find the people to work for you. Yeah. Oh, gee. Well, speaking of us as small business owners, entrepreneurs, people who work for companies, people who own companies, big or large, what can we do right now? Is there something we can really do to step forward to make a difference in our businesses?
In this particular climate where you have labor market challenging, so it's when you find somebody, you really got to be prepared to onboard them effectively. And also you've got to have an environment or a culture in your business that people want to be a part of.
Mm.
So rewind to maybe even just 2019, where it was a different climate, and you might be able to offer a position that is more of an entry-level position that you kind of have to work your way up, and that still be there. But when it comes to why people take jobs and why people stay at jobs, so it's not just about attracting a new employee, it's also about keeping the ones you have.
Yeah.
If they start looking around, they're going to likely find an opportunity to earn more money somewhere else. That is more of a commodity. The money part of it is easy to offer and attract somebody, but what the research shows is that the reasons people historically have stayed in positions is because of growth, because of connection, and because of leadership, the type of management they have. And money is a factor, and money can jump over those in particular instances. But the longevity piece really boils down to, do I have an opportunity to grow in my position, and do I connected to the people I work with? And is the leadership and management in the business, are they creating a vision that I can believe in? And is it a place that I really want to come to work? Otherwise, the money becomes more of a factor. Does that make sense? If you don't have those things, if you're not really paying attention, it's not that you have to be perfect, but if you're not addressing the growth, connection, and leadership elements of your business, then the money will tend to become more important.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a big point. Is we used to say all the time, we don't leave our jobs, we leave our managers. If you're not feeling accepted or appreciated, and if it's like
or safe, right? In today's world, if you're not feeling safe, heard, because this part of the thing that I witnessed with my clients, as well as just the industry, the business environment, as the pandemic took hold, then you really started to see kind of how the brain responds to threat.
Oh, yeah.
I spent a lot of time reading and studying the neuroscience of leadership. And when the brain is in that threat response, and there's a real scientific basis for this,
sure,
start to see people's inability to process information, especially logically, because you're really operating from a fight or flight response, which we all have heard of. But it really boils down to when people are firmly in that threat response, which we're still seeing some of. Yeah. People don't always make the most logical decisions. And so as leaders in businesses, you have to recognize when you yourself are there. And then people around you are starting to show signs of feeling more threatened. And I'm not saying it's necessarily physically threatened, like they're going to get hurt, though. There, with all of the stuff going on in our country, there is some of that too now. But I'm talking more about the feeling of, am I feeling threatened by the COVID-19 virus? If I come to work, am I going to get and am I going to come down with it? Or am I going to be around that? Or is my job threatened? So all these things start to kind of percolate and surface. And at least we have to be ready to respond and quiet down this threat response in our team. Yeah. And I think I know just from back in the day when I worked in corporate, I have had positions where I really didn't enjoy going to work because of the climate, and the way people interacted. Yeah, sometimes it's not fun. So yeah, I think that's really good point. Thank you, David, for doing that. Should small business owners and entrepreneurs, should we be really trying to pursue excellence? When businesses are struggling, maybe half-hearted efforts. I mean, well, it might seem like kind of an odd time to really pursue excellence. It seems like that should be something we do when things are going well. Okay. When business climate is prospering and everybody's feeling good, that's when we should pursue excellence. But I actually believe it's the opposite. Now, your definition of excellence might differ depending on the business climate you're in. Okay. As far as the notion of, should I really be striving to be well-rounded in me and myself as a leader and provide the best environment for my team, my customers, my clients? There are all types of things that we can do to provide an environment that makes our teams feel comfortable and our customers feel comfortable. To me, that is really what excellence is. You are again, in that kind of threat response yourself, or if you've just decided that, oh, I have no control over anything, so it really doesn't matter what I do. To me, that's not pursuing excellence.
Got it. Okay.
Today, if that makes sense. So you may not blow it out of the water in terms of your revenue numbers right now, though there are businesses that are.
Yeah.
But if you're not in that type of business, that's okay. But you can still go back to your fundamentals. And I have a sports background, so I think about things in sports context a lot of times. What do teams do in the sports world when they're struggling?
Right.
They always go back to their fundamentals. If we use, in football, let's say, they always go back to run the ball, or do the short passes, whatever you're really good at.
Right.
Back to that and start there.
I love that. And I think it is true that today's, excellence, or I call it like today's 100%. You're giving it 100% today, which may be different than yesterday's or last week's 100% or tomorrow's. But if you're given what you can today, 100% today,
Yep.
and I think that's kind of the same thing, is go back to what you're really super good at and give it your all.
And make it about your customer or your client, and tied so much to the outcomes of the business, because the outcomes we don't have control over today, right? Whether what your annual revenue is, or what the whatever revenue you bring in, that is a function of, or a product of, other steps, right?
Right.
That's why the fundamentals, the basics, they're boring, right? They're not that exciting sometimes, but they are the foundation of excellence that your business is built on.
Yes, I love it. I love it. And I think you've made some really good points about really getting down to that excellence of what are you excellent at?
Yeah.
And focus on that. That's great. Does the speaking and coaching work that you do, because you're a coach and you speak on it, I've heard you speak and you rock it. Does that really apply to small business owners? Does all this, look for excellence and fundamentals, it sounds a little heebie-jeebie to me, So is that for small business and entrepreneurs too?
I'd say it is, especially because you're a small business owner, and the nature of the work I do really doesn't have as much to do with the industry as it does with the mindset that a small business might have. So, and I have the privilege of working in a lot of different industries. So it really, and translating sports into small business, I mean, that's a big leap, but it really is about performing under pressure and being able to be consistent with your focus and creating an environment that your team wants to be a part of. Those things really cut across industries, et cetera. So whether it applies to a small business owner or not has more to do with the business owner than it does the industry. So is the business owner interested in setting goals and going after them and being willing to fail and all those types of things? That's what I'm looking for.
Right. And I think even, if it's a small business or, an entrepreneur who, they might have a virtual assistant or something, I kind of work by myself and here I am. So when you say team, there really it's you got other people to think about who's on your team. Sometimes it isn't a massive, group of employees.
Absolutely. In fact, the nature of performance is really a one-on-one issue. It's really an individual issue first, even at the leader level. In fact, I wrote a book that's going to be published soon that really focuses on leaders performing under pressure and bringing excellence to their teams, but it starts at the individual leader level.
Right.
You may be part of a team, but you got to bring it yourself first before you can help anybody else do that.
Right. Now, you kind of slipped in the book thing. So you got a copy of that book thing there, David?
Yeah. this is the cover, and this is actually the cover for a workshop that's kind of a offshoot of the book, but this is what the cover is going to look like.
So it says, take your shot. Okay.
Perform under pressure. It's how small business owners and leaders perform under pressure.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. It's a collection of stories and lessons from my history with athletes as well as business people, and I'm excited about it.
Okay, so we're looking at, a month or so out, and so everybody out there, viewers, keep an eye on this. And I know that you can probably email David, and he would, put you on a list to let you know when it's available. So we'll give you that email coming up in a second. I'm so excited that you have this book coming out, because I think it's really going to make a big difference and an impact on folks. So if a small business owner is contemplating hiring a coach, and my personal opinion is we all need a coach. I mean, I think everybody needs a coach. I need a coach. You need a coach. Y'all need a coach. Absolutely. Each and every one of us needs a coach, because we don't see what we don't see. And that coach can really help us see that. So small business owners should, if they're contemplating hiring a coach, what do you think, what would you say to help them make a decision on, should I, and how do I find the best coach for me?
Well, the first question of should I would say it depends on really it depends on what you need. Like, what are you trying to accomplish? Because I coach, you coach. So of course we see the value in that. And I come initially from the sports world, and, even the best in the world in sports world and in business too, they have advisors, they have people that they rely on to help them see the things they don't see. It's kind of like golf. The best players in the world have a coach because they can't see their own backswing. Yeah. And that's the same way in business, I find. So, but it depends on it. You may not need a coach all the time, but you have someone you can rely on that can help provide some clarity and then some accountability. Because those are the two things that I try to bring initially for all my clients is clarity on what the issues are, because a lot of times the business environment creates chaos, and then accountability. Because if you're at the top of the spear, if you're at the tip of the spear of your organization, you may not have anybody who's holding you accountable. So it's often our role as coaches is to provide the accountability for even the CEO or whomever we're coaching. Right.
That is great. And how do we decide who? Do you have any little advice on how do you go out there and seek, like, okay, my friend said this person, are they
well,
good
I think
for me?
it's you have to be diligent in doing your due diligence. And I think you need to strive to listen to people, attend conferences, there's a lot of virtual opportunities to hear what people have to say. Word of mouth is a powerful way to find a coach. But in the end, I recommend that you actually, once you find somebody that you seem to click with from a personality perspective, you got to ask them, really, what is your philosophy on coaching? What are you striving to help your clients accomplish? And what should I expect if I engage you? And then try it, but try it for maybe a 30-day period, and have a couple of meetings and see, does this make sense to me? Do I feel motivated to continue? And are they not only telling me what I want to hear, but what I need to hear? So that's, I think, a good match. And it's a bit of trial and error.
Yeah. And I think it's sometimes difficult for folks to digest what I need to hear. Sometimes that's
the art of coaching, right? Is we as coaches need to be able to communicate to our clients not just what they want to hear, but also what they need to hear. That's the art of coaching, in my view.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's really spot on what you say. I'm super excited about your book. I just can't wait for that.
Well, thank you.
Come on, hurry up that book.
I know, I'm trying.
I tell
I'm working on
when
it.
it's almost like having a baby. You can't rush it, but doggone it,
Oh man. Well, yeah, and they're all, as you know, when you write a book, I mean, there are all kinds of phases, and
yeah, I do know.
it's quite a journey, but I'm excited about it. And once it's all ready to go, then I'll certainly get the word out and I'll let you know.
Oh, right. Yeah, we would love that. Let me know and I'll share it with our viewers. Absolutely. Dave, we're coming to an end here. Do you have one little nugget that you haven't touched on yet, or do you want to really put a fire under a point that you've made earlier in the call?
I'd probably say, actually, and it was a lesson I learned years ago when I was part of a startup in Boston.
Okay.
And our primary investor was a very successful CEO. He and his family had just sold their business for upwards of $5 billion. So they do a few things. And so anytime it's kind of like E.F. Hutton back in the old days when E.F. Hutton spoke, everybody listened. And when he spoke, I listened. And one of the things he said to me, because I was kind of going back and forth, should we do this or that? And he just leaned forward and said, don't wait. And it stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, what? He said, don't wait. I said, wait for what? He said, don't wait for things to be perfect before you take action.
Yeah.
He said, you're smart enough. You've been doing this long enough. You'll figure it out, but don't wait until it's perfect to take action.
Wow.
And so what I'd probably say to all of the viewers is don't wait, whether it's finding a coach, whether it's taking a step in a marketing plan or looking to do something that you have done the research on and you feel like, yep, this is a good direction for me to go. I don't have all the answers just yet, but this is really the direction we need to go. Don't wait.
Yeah, boy, I love that. I love that. Thank you, Dave. Dave, I just think it's that right there is worth the price of admission. I'm telling you, that was fabulous. Great. I've got notes here, and I am going to be looking forward to that book. And in the meantime, we can certainly take a peek at Dave's information. So if you want to get a hold of Dr. Dave Striegel, here's his phone number, his email, and his website. So please, anybody out there who is interested in this book, which it's going to be a good one, shoot him off an email. I mean, I'll be posting that too, like, look for this book, but he's got great information. Contact him if you have questions about what he does and how he does it. He's great guy, very gracious, and is more than happy to talk to y'all. And we, and again, if I can be of any service to you, you want to talk about coaching, you have questions about that, here's my information as well, right there, CoachDanaInspires.com. So reach out to Dave or reach out to me. We are always here to be of service. So Dave, I just want to thank you once again. Thank you so much for being here and giving us such great content and things, not just to think about, but take action on. So
I really appreciate the opportunity, Dana. It's been a real pleasure. And I look forward to doing this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. So until next Tuesday, everybody, have a great week.